Welcome to Embossing Video 2, Preparing to Emboss. Let's take a little trip, shall we? We're outside the project storage right now. There's the rolling mill. Don't even touch that until you've completely watched this video and video 3. We're gonna go into project storage to find our embossing wire. The wire that you want to use is right here. It is 26 gauge and it says right underneath it, 26. You could also use 24, but that's starting to get a little too thick. And it's important that your wire be the right thickness depending on the thickness of the metal that you're using. Because if you've got one piece of wire and another piece of wire overlapping, that thickness has to still be less than the thickness of your sheet metal. So really keep that in mind when you're deciding if you want to use that thin 26 or that thicker 24. So let's grab that 26 gauge wire. It is brass because brass is tougher than copper and it can put up with more of the beating. And I'm just straightening it out because it's a little bent on the end. Decide how much you need depending on how intricate of a design you've planned. And get some snips, cut off how much you need. And then instead of letting it go loose, you're gonna find a hole. You're gonna put that wire end through the hole, bend it backward, and that keeps it nice and tight. If you let it get too loose, it starts to become a mess like this. So you want it nice and tight. And put it right back where you found it so the next person knows where to find their wire. All right, now that you know where to find the wire, let's say you've done all your sketches and you've come up with your final design. You need to create the design out of wire using your pliers to trace your sketch, just how we did with contour lines and cursive letters. You'll need to use chain nose or flat nose for the angles, like the tips of the hearts, and you'll need to use round nose for any curves, like the curves of the hearts. Okay, so here's my metal, and I'm just gonna go ahead and place that first one with my fingers or my pliers, whichever one will grab it. Gonna grab some tape. That helps me place it quite a bit. See how it's hovering on the tape right now? That really helps me place it exactly where I want it. And tape it down. All right. Be careful not to get tape folds because those might show up in your final embossing. This extra piece of tape here can get cut off or it can just get folded over, so it's out of the way. And my next heart. Uh-oh, my tape just folded over on the corner. I actually need to grab a new piece because that thickness of the tape might mess up. It might show in my final embossing. So here's a new piece of tape. Pick up my heart. Place it where I want it to go. Boom. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut off that extra because I don't want my tape to get too thick on the back. Any thickness that goes through the rolling mill might potentially emboss into your metal. I have had students who have had little tape embossings because they made their tape too thick. Okay, once your piece has your wire taped down to it, you're ready to move on to video 3. That's it for preparing to emboss. The final video is on how to actually use that embossing machine, roll it through the rolling mill.